Man, people pleasing sucks. I know that in yesterday's video I was just talking about enmeshment and how much enmeshment sucks. People pleasing, it's like right there with it. You know, I've had so much experience in my life with people pleasing, appeasing, whatever it is that you want to call it, codependency. And it's just like, it doesn't do for a person what they're thinking that it does. It doesn't make situations better. It doesn't make you liked. It just doesn't provide what a person thinks that it's going to provide for them, right? And it's wild because, like, you know, when I look at my own life and everything, there were points in my life when I thought that there was something wrong with me, right? I thought that I was defective. I thought that I didn't work properly, right? And I thought that what I needed in life was found in other people, right? And so with that, there was a lot of, you know, permeable boundaries and me doing things that I never actually wanted to do. And by the way, this video is not about me blaming anybody else. This is actually quite the opposite. I'm at a point in my life now where as I heal, you know, I'm taking responsibility and accountability for everything, you know? And, you know, it's wild because for the longest time, I used to believe that, you know, I was, like, emasculated by other people. And this whole area of, you know, masculinity, being a man, all that kind of stuff, I might make another video on that, but that's an entirely different story. I see things a lot differently, to be honest. But it's just wild because nobody else holds the key to my life. Now, if I outweigh somebody else's opinion of me over my opinion of myself, then I'm going to fall prey to that all the time, right? And then people pleasing, appeasing, all that stuff is just going to remain there. I've done a lot of running after and chasing, right? And, you know, it's also kind of challenging for me to talk about, you know, emasculation. I believe that that's the right way to say it. I know that the root is emasculate, but I think it's emasculation. Doing this on the go. This is kind of a Friday flow, and I just realized that that rhymed. This is me just, you know, like, exploring, you know, codependency, people-pleasing, appeasing. I've spent a lot of time, like, waiting around for people, chasing people and stuff. And, you know, like, no, that's just not, at least for me, that's not the way to live, you know? When you don't have healthy boundaries, when you have permeable boundaries, imagine, like, a cell. And when I say that, I don't mean like a jail cell, like what I was talking about in yesterday's video. When I say that, what I mean is, like, imagine, like, a cell. You know, like, there are cells, we're made up of cells, right? Imagine a cell. Imagine just like a round ball, right? Think about like a Pokeball. From, obviously, Pokemon. Imagine that Pokeball has many holes in it that are rather large, right? So much so that somebody could just reach in and, you know? Or they could reach in and all of a sudden take you and fucking manipulate you and do all these different things because they know that you don't have healthy boundaries, and so they can take advantage of that. And so they know how to reach in, they know where to reach in, they know when to reach in, and they just take you, right? They take you, and then they've got control over you, even though it's really just an illusion because The only reason that you're there is because you don't feel good about yourself, right? You have a low self-esteem. It's wild, you know? The theme of this video is experience in codependency, experience in people-pleasing, in appeasing, and also just, like, taking responsibility and accountability for that. I can imagine that I'm probably speaking to at least one person out there that has felt like they need to chase, that they need to, you know, give up their own authenticity, that they need to give up their values, that they need to give up something to have somebody else or to win over somebody else. And then, of course, through that entire process, you know, it's kind of like, you know, appeasing, for instance, right? It's kind of like, you know, like, if shit goes south, right? Maybe you didn't even really do anything, right? But then that person starts to leave, and you're like, wait, I'm sorry, I swear, I'm sorry. It won't happen again, I'm sorry. So just please. Yeah, that energy right there, the appeasing, right? I'll change. I'm sorry, it's my fault, it's me, it's always been me, I'm a piece of shit, I'm this, that, and the other, I'm so sorry, I'll change. You're fine, you are totally perfect, there's nothing wrong with you. Well, not that there's anything wrong with anybody, but you don't need to change. You don't need to look at yourself, you know? No, seriously. Fuck codependency. Fuck people-pleasing. Fuck appeasing. If somebody's going to leave, let them. And this is really not even about, like, emasculation anymore. You know, this is not about, you know, the stereotypical man giving up his manhood and, you know, getting all soft and stuff. It's not about that. It's about behavioral stuff. It's about patterns. It's about learned defense mechanisms from childhood that lead a person to be a certain way. That's really what it's all about. Why are you codependent? Why are you people-pleasing? Why are you appeasing? Because usually those dynamics are very unhealthy. Usually they're not, like, they're just not healthy, you know? That's what I was trying to say. They take a person very far outside of themselves. When you're saying yes, you'll do something, when really you don't want to, when really you mean no, that's self-sacrificing. That's not healthy. I understand that a lot of people's parents probably taught them, oh, you know, especially the immigrant parents, right? Oh, we came here and we sacrificed so much for you. The least you can do is respect us. What is wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Right? Like all that kind of stuff. I believe it's called neurotic guilt. But anyway, the guilt tripping, the shaming, all of that stuff, it ain't healthy. It really isn't. And so that's the kind of stuff, when you're in a space of unsafety like that, where you're being treated like that, that's abuse. Right? We did all this stuff for you. We sacrificed so much for you. I didn't fucking ask you to. And that's the thing, too. I understand what I just said is probably somewhat controversial for a lot of people to hear, right? You know, the whole guilt tripping, the whole shaming thing. I did so much for you. I sacrificed so much for you. I didn't ask you to do that. You know? I wasn't inside you, Mom, and was like, hey, can you please do this? Like, no. Like, that never happened, right? And so parents hold that shit over their children, right? And then they teach their children these unhealthy-ass fucking dynamics rather than just letting their children be them fucking selves. How fucking hard is that? Oh, I know how hard it is. Not really, but still. Generational trauma. Oh, your grandparents would be so proud. And that's not a bad thing either, by the way. It's not a bad thing. It's not right or wrong or good or bad, but it's a matter of just letting a person be themselves. Letting them express themselves. Doesn't matter where the fuck you come from. It doesn't matter what the fuck you look like. It doesn't matter the orientation of your sexuality. It doesn't matter your fucking gender. None of that shit matters. Just let people be who the fuck they are. Right? And that's the other thing, too. Shit. I sincerely, getting a little heated here. I sincerely dislike when people, I guess the word is inhibit, but I'll use the word limit, other people from expressing themselves. Let people say what the fuck they want to say. Especially when it comes to words like fuck and like shit. You know, these words that I know a lot of people don't like, right? I'll end off with this, just because I think this is probably a very important note of this video. As I have observed people in relationships throughout my entire life, I've realized how much people control each other. How much people limit each other through, oh, you can only be this way and that way around me. Like, okay, listen, it's a real thing that people could say things around you that might make you feel unsafe, and that's understandable. But a far majority of things are really not that, right? Now, here is my theory. I don't even know if theory is the right word to use for this, but anyway. The more you control a person, the more you limit the person, right? A person that you're friends with, or in, you know, whether it's platonic, whether it's platonic or romantic, right? The more you control a person, the more you limit a person, the more you tell them what they can't do, the more you don't get that whole person. Right? And the more you don't get that whole person, the less of that person you're going to get. Who the fuck are you actually in a relationship with, whether platonic or romantic? What is it, just this little fucking scrap of human skin? No. Humans can be explored. We can be, I don't even know if the word dove into is the right thing to say, but like, shit, there's an entire fucking universe inside of us. Talk and listen, hold space. This whole idea of controlling people and, you know, limiting them, like, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that around me. Unless it's, like, actually unhealthy, let people be. Like, on some real shit, let people be. It will transform your fucking relationships. I was almost going to say sevenfold, like Avenged Sevenfold. But to infinity and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear.